Hello, I'm Kaiser and welcome to Moose Reads. Before I get started, I want to say that the opinions that I give here are my own opinions. They are extremely subjective. If I dislike a book, it is not a reflection on the author, and it is not a reflection on people who do like it. Different people have different tastes, and that's okay. Today, I will be reviewing Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Farseer Trilogy. It is a fantasy novel, the description says. Fitz has barely survived his first hazardous mission as King's assassin. Battered and bitter, he vows to abandon his oath to King Shrewd, remaining in the distant mountains. But love and events of terrible urgency draw him back to the court at Buck Keep, and into the deadly intrigues of the royal family. Renewing their vicious attacks on the coast, the Red Ship raiders leave burned-out villages and demented victims in their wake. The kingdom is also under assault from within, as treachery threatens the throne of the ailing king. In this time of great danger, the fate of the kingdom may rest in Fitz's hands, and his role in its salvation may require the ultimate sacrifice. 4 stars. This is another book where I just don't feel like I have much to say about it. It was interesting, the characters and plot were well written, I liked it. Mostly. Look, at the end of the day, Fitz drives me nuts. He's proud, more than a little self-centered, and often lacks much empathy for those he claims to care about. He's a great character, make no mistake, but I don't think I particularly like him. I have every intention of complaining about him at length, but, spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, now is the time to pause or close the video. For everyone else, let's talk details. I still don't see how Fitz can possibly be any good as an assassin. He completely fails to notice just about anything until either someone else points it out, or it tries to kill him. Sometimes, even then, he fails spectacularly. There are several examples in this book, so let me elaborate. When the fool makes fun of him in the hall, he gets all in a huff about how mean he is. Listening to it, I was fully aware what the fool was doing, playing to appearances while telling him something very important, but Fitz's pride was hurt, so all he could see was his friend being a jerk. Pretty much any time the fool tries to tell him something important, he gets mad at him for one reason or another, and completely fails to consider what he was told, which is annoying as hell. Then there's Ketcherkin's pregnancy. The fool tells Fitz flat out that either she or Molly is pregnant, which prompts Fitz to ask Molly. When she tells him she's not, he doesn't come to the obvious conclusion and seems rather surprised when someone later points out that Ketcherkin is with child. Stupid. Then, of course, Molly does get pregnant, because Fitz is too fucking stupid to either keep it in his pants or take the smallest of precautions. This is supposition, by the way, yet to be confirmed. I'm going based on the conversation they had when he asked her in the first place, wherein he basically told Molly that the king comes first, and then he'll try his best to look after their child, if it comes to that. So obviously when Molly says there's someone else and she has to think about him now, she means a kid. But Fitz is once again too stupid to notice, so he assumes she means another man. And then there's Rosemary. I clocked Rosemary as a problem pretty early in this book, as did my brother, though for different reasons. My brother noted that they had said Rosemary came from one of Regal's pet duchies. I just thought she showed up somewhere she had no real reason to be, after Shade told Fitz that Regal's assassin would be someone unassuming and personable. Either way, neither of us were surprised when it turned out she was spying on them, but Fitz sure was. Not the sharpest knife in the assassin's boot, that one. And then, of course, he's a self-absorbed asshole. Patience tells him exactly what he needs to do to properly court Molly, and instead of making any attempts to do that, he stays away from her to prove he's a man, not a boy, and then bullies her until she sleeps with him. And yeah, that whole scene was very uncomfortable. She told him very clearly that she didn't want to see him, and he didn't listen until she capitulated to his feelings. He didn't give hers half a thought. I am also disappointed in Molly. I thought she was more sensible, but apparently not. I guess Fitz battered her with his stupid so thoroughly she caught some of it. Because he waited so long to broach the subject with Shrewd, he'd already made other plans for him, so that doesn't go well. And rather than tell Molly, or stop sleeping with her until they have more solid footing. He just keeps her in the dark and acts as if it's fine. And while he's sleeping with her, he never gives a thought to the fact that babies happen. I forget who it is, but someone points out to him that Molly, at least, is taking precautions. But those precautions come in the form of herbs that can be very dangerous if taken too often. Fitz is shocked to hear that this is a thing she's doing, continues to not really consider the fact that babies happen, and doesn't do more than vaguely mention the herbs one time. He does eventually have a moment of perfect clarity in which he realizes how much of a jerk he's been toward Molly and how much worse he's making her life. But that lasts about a minute before something else distracts him and he forgets about it entirely. He certainly never acts on it. Shrewd is also very clearly in trouble throughout the entire book, but Fitz doesn't particularly notice. After Shrewd tells him he can't court or marry Molly, he writes him off entirely, despite the fact that the fool has made it pretty clear that he needs help. Just because they're friends doesn't mean you should care about the fool, I guess. This is compounded when he plans to use the skill with Shrewd to determine Verity's alive. The fool lays out exactly how pointless it is to do so, as it will change absolutely nothing in the keep, and it may well kill Shrewd. But when the fool begs him not to do it, he doesn't even hesitate. He wants to be sure Verity is alive, so fuck Shrewd and fuck the fool. I don't like him. I suspect this is not a particularly popular opinion, but here we are. I'm still going to finish the trilogy, and most likely start in on the live ship traders after. Maybe Fitz will pull his head out of his ass eventually. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Royal Assassin. If you like this video, I hope you'll watch more in the future. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.